Andy, thank you again for coming onto the podcast. You asked me to have everything set up, and as usual, I didn't. So
Not a single thing was set up.
not a single thing. The only thing I did,
We always roll.
the only thing I did do was put this together because this wasn't the two of them, but the lighting rig and the camera was not set up because it was not efficient. But thank you for being here today. A lot of shit to talk about. Lately, you've been fishing a lot.
Yeah.
You kind of gave me that bug a little bit, not full blown, because like I live in Brooklyn now, so I don't have like the only thing we're gonna go fishing for is like fucking sewer rats. There's not really much to catch except for herpes maybe
You
on the
guys, I
subway.
mean, you guys got saltwater. That's like saltwater kingdom right there.
So you think
Bluefish.
saltwater is better than freshwater?
I think they're both good for different things. I think if you're trying, I think freshwater is the fisherman's, like, freshwater is harder. I think, personally. I know people go, you gotta get a boat. Okay, that doesn't count. Freshwater is a more finesse type of fishing. You have to use very specific types of lures. You fish them very certain ways. Whereas saltwater is just basically, let me just get a big chunk of bait, throw it on a hook, drop it in the ocean, and then hopefully something big bites it and I fight for 30 minutes. Saltwater, I think, is more fun and exhilarating. Freshwater is more satisfying and more like, it brings a greater sense of pride. But saltwater is still more fun. Like if you're on the end of if you're on the other end of a 40-inch bluefish, 30-something inch bluefish that's fighting for its life and it's thrashing in the water for 5 to 10 minutes, like your heart is going to be racing regardless of who you are. But
yeah, so that's actually one of the things that you told me when we went on our first fishing trip. It wasn't really a trip. Well, the first time we ever went fishing together,
yeah,
I don't really consider that the first time because it was kind of like I don't know if you remember this. It was in Long Island. We went like surf
on the beach. Yeah, a while back.
So we caught one fucking fish that day, which was a skatefish, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, like a sea robin. Yeah, it was a sea robin.
Some nasty shit. I don't even know the different types of fishes, but
it was those wings.
Yeah, that one. I didn't even cast it because I have kind of like PTSD with casting, which for a story that I'll tell in like in a couple minutes. But we went that one time. I remember we woke up like early as shit. Like, do you remember all this? We woke up at like 5 a.m. because we had to drive from here all the way.
Trip.
I've never gone fishing before.
That's why saltwater low-key sucks for this region. For where we live, like
because you have to wake up like mad.
Yeah, you got to make it a whole thing.
Yeah, that's annoying.
That stinks.
That's annoying. So we've had a couple fishing trips. To make a long story short, we went out to Long Island. I think it was Jones Beach, maybe.
Yep, Jones Field 6.
Field 6, Jones Beach. We sat with a couple little what are those chairs called? The beach chairs. Yeah. The lawn chairs. And we were sitting there. We weren't of age yet. So we weren't drinking or anything like that. We were just chilling on the water. I think we were like 17 or 18. And we fucking you casted both of our hooks, both of the lines. Mm-hmm. And we just put it inside those like the holders that you have to screw into the sand. And we didn't get a single fucking
PVC
bite
tubes, yeah.
all day.
Yeah.
And the one
was that
time,
the day where we were getting like seaweed every single time?
Yeah.
Like the whole time? Yeah.
It was ass.
Yeah.
It was ass. Look, we weren't getting any bites. And the one bite that we got was on my rod. And I'm like, yo. So I started reeling this thing in. And then Andy, I think, was a little bit pent up because he was like, man, I've been waiting for some shit to bite my line all day. Nothing. He sees me start reeling this one in. He's like, give it. I don't want you to fuck it up. So he takes my shit from me and he fucking reels it in. I'm like, bruh, that was my line.
That was dirty.
No, but honestly though, this was something that Sandra's off frame here, but this is something that we were all debating the other day. Either way, it wouldn't have even counted if I would have reeled it in because you cast it out. I feel like Paul was debating about this. So was Sandra. I am of the mindset where in order for something to count as your catch, you have to cast it, hook it, and reel it. All
you see,
three.
Again, I think that goes for freshwater. I feel like for saltwater is just you're chucking and waiting. It's not really.
Oh, I guess that's true. Yeah.
Like you're just like, okay, let me just throw it out there. But like freshwater, you gotta you're pinpointing a spot because saltwater fish are constantly moving, whereas freshwater, a lot of the times, like you're in a small pond, a small lake, they're kind of just chilling in one area. So you got to really hit that one spot. Whereas saltwater, they're constantly on the move. They're constantly looking for prey.
And
right?
if they smell the food
exactly,
in the water,
they'll
then
go towards it.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense.
For freshwater, I think that matters, the cast. But for saltwater, you could argue that. I see your point, but saltwater is just so much easier.
Saltwater,
just chuck some fucking meat out there and then just
rancid ass cut.
Yeah, literally, something that smells good to them, some bloody ass like bunker or whatever. And
so that was my first fishing experience. We then went. You took me to like your spot. I won't say where. It's a reservoir. I won't say where though. But we went out. Yep. This was the first time that I would say like this is my first actual fishing thing because
Wait, can I tell this story?
Yeah, please go ahead.
So we're fishing, and keep in mind, like I had just started out freshwater fishing myself, and I hadn't caught a decent sized bass. I caught one, but it was like tiny, or a couple, but they were like tiny. Like you can't even call them dinks. They were like dinky dinks.
Were they smallmouth or largemouth?
They were both largemouth, the ones that I caught, but they were tiny fish. And so at this point, I kept hearing that the certain place that we were fishing, that the fish in there are huge. They said they had not state record fish, but they were gigantic fish. And I know people drive from very far away. They hit this spot. I had been fishing it for like, I think at that point, 2 or 3 weeks, almost every single day religiously for a couple hours. I had not gotten a single bass. I gotten like yellow perch, little yellow perch, and like some white perch, I think a couple of them. But I had like not seen any big bass. I started like not believing that there were bass in there. I thought everybody was like messing with me. So then I take him out one day. I'm like, all right, I just want to teach him how to fish. I'm not even worried about catching fish. I just want to teach him the basics, like how to cast, how to set the hook, how to reel it in, and then how to bring it up, right? Because
all super fun, by the way.
Yeah.
It's so much fun.
And that was my mindset. I was like, and then at the end, like if he catches any fish, I'll be like, I'll be happy. I hope he'll be happy. So we go out and we're fishing. And we're fishing for like hours at this point. It's like 2 or 3 hours, I think, at that point. And we were like kind of getting tired. The sun was beating down on us because it was hot that day. And, as any fisherman knows, if you go a long time without catching a bite, your wheels start spinning, like, and not in a good way. Like you start like, why am I not catching fish? What am I doing wrong? What's going on? I'm doing this. I caught fish doing this exact thing. All those things start running through your mind. And we had not gotten a single bite. So then I had tried another side of the reservoir that we were fishing. So I kind of left Brandon to his own devices on the other side. And I'm fishing for about, I'll bull crap some number. I forgot how long I was fishing on the other side for, let's say 15 minutes. So I kind of forgot like Brandon was there because I was talking to my wife on the other side. And all of a sudden I hear from the other side in a soft but like expedited tone, you go, guys, I think I have one. And I was like, okay, like he's probably got like a perch or something. Like I've caught perch in there. I was like, let me go take a look. And I'm like looking at the rod as I'm walking across. I'm looking at the rod and the rod is like bouncing up and down like this. And I'm like, that's a heavy rod. It's a medium heavy rod. I'm like, that should not be bending like that for a little quarter-pound perch. Yeah. Not only did this dude, one, attract the fish, set the hook, reel it in. He got it all the way underneath where we were. We're fishing off of a bridge. He got this fish underneath the bridge. As I peer over the rail to look at this fish, what's waiting at the bottom, staring straight up at us? This freaking bucket of a largemouth bass, at least 3-4 pounds, at least.
It was a pretty big fish.
Bro, my heart started racing. I was like, no way this kid's first catch ever is a 4-pound largemouth bass.
Yeah, it was a big one. And we have the video. We have the video thanks to Sandra.
Sandra, hold the phone. Hold the phone.
Okay.
Brandon.
Okay.
Wait, you can't. Oh my God, it's a monster.
Where is it? Oh, shit! Bruh! Holy, you're gonna get a big ass fish.
Keeping it tight.
Holy shark.
Andy, careful.
No.
Let's fucking go, Brandon. Holy shit, bro. Hold on. My wrist, bro. That shit put up a fucking fight and a half. Holy shit. I can't believe you got this.
Calm down, buddy.
Let's fucking go.
Okay, so what do I do here? I just grab him.
Grab it by the lip.
Is he gonna?
Grab by the lip. Let's fucking go. I'm so fucking
that kind of hurts.
No, you're good. Pinch it by the lip. Let's fucking go. You got a beast. That is the biggest fish I've seen.
Take a picture. I'm gonna give it a kiss. You wanna give it a kiss?
No, that's all you.
All right, motherfucker. Here we go.
Release him.
Get bigger, boy. Get bigger.
He's off.
Alive?
He's off, baby.
Holy shit.
Yo, let's fucking go.
Oh my god, bro. Thank you for grabbing.
Oh my god, like so you were explaining this to me, right? This is what I was saying you were explaining. Like fishing, I feel like when most people think of fishing, the first, for people who aren't into it and have never done it, I would say one of the words that they first think of is like boring. Because a lot of it's a waiting game, right?
Yeah. Patience.
The thing that no one fucking talks about, the thing that you told me about was like, it's such a crazy contrast because you'll be chilling, doing nothing, fucking swatting flies out out of your face or whatever, just taking in the sights, which is another thing too. That spot that you took me to is beautiful. So I was just like relaxing, just
Don't
looking
get that
at the
spot
nature.
away to nobody, bro.
No, I'm not saying shit about that,
All right.
but we're just looking. I'm relaxing, and then the instant you feel something bump, like your line, which I think that just means like it takes a nibble, right?
Yeah, like it bumps it. It'll attack the lure in some way, yeah.
So the second you feel that, immediately your fucking, like, your adrenal glands just open up and
Your
you're just
whole
sweating.
mindset,
It's just crazy.
Instant change, focused, everything else in the
Tunnel
world is
vision on
tunnel
just
vision. Yeah,
reeling
yeah.
in the fucking fish and bringing that shit home.
Yeah, everything else just disappears out of your head,
crazy.
and your one goal in that however long that fight lasts, your one goal is I need this fish in my hands now.
It's wild. It's wild. The adrenaline rush, and then like when you're that fish, because it was 4 pounds or whatever it was.
Big fish,
It
dude. I
put
still
up a
think
fight.
about that. I still think about that.
I still think about that
That's
because I was
crazy.
like, so first of all, it came up to the edge, and I'm stupid, right? I don't know shit about fishing, so I'm like, okay, I'm gonna reel this thing up, and then I'm just gonna pull up on the rod with the line connected to it, and just take it out of the water, and then bring it up.
Which,
over.
to be fair, I was using 10-pound braid at that time, so like it should have been fine if I had just hand pulled it up. But I was just worried that also like if we start
starts
hand
thrashing?
if it starts thrashing in the air, that hook pops out, you're gonna lose your first big bass like
So
that.
and okay, and also the spot that we're on, it's a kind of like it's not a bridge, but it's like a little bit of like a how do you describe
like an
that?
overpass, like a small overpass.
Yeah, but the underpass of the overpass is just water. So it's
Yeah.
kind of like a bridge. He was on the other side. I get the fish. He comes and he starts freaking out. But we realize like we don't have a way of bringing this fucking thing up.
Because at that time I didn't have the net yet, so I couldn't just net it from the bridge.
This man, which you're not supposed to do, right? Leaps over the fucking railing, climbs down into like the little bank. Like, well, actually, no, you can do that. You're just not supposed to go over it, but you're allowed on the
technically,
banks.
you're not even allowed to fish there. Technically, there's signs.
Do
that
we
say-
have to cut this this whole ass
No,
story
you
out?
can. No, you can leave it.
No, it was in a different state, so like it doesn't matter. But we were he goes down there and he fucking pulls this thing up.
Well, no, you got it onto the bank.
Oh yeah,
And
because you told me to bring it over.
Before I had gone down, and like I had like a split second like thought. I was like, okay, either one, we can try to get this fish, like hand line pull it up, or I was like, nah, screw that. I'm making this thing as close to 0% loss. So I was like, Brandon, get it on the bank. I'm gonna jump off the bridge and I'm gonna go down there and I'm gonna lip this fish for you and I'm gonna throw it on the bridge.
So he goes down, and then right as he gets onto
Yeah, I
the
had
bank,
to jump over the rail, then scale that little mini fence down.
Yeah.
And then I had like ticks on my
he
leg.
had he
I
had
got
ticks
poison
growing on
ivy.
it. It was bad. But you remember? So do you remember that the fish unhooked at the
Yeah,
last fucking
yeah,
second?
yeah.
And you're like, "Oh," and
Yeah.
you leap.
Yeah.
You get this thing.
He started motioning back towards the water.
It was crazy. Like literally, if Andy had not done exactly what he did, that fish would have been gone. He grabs it, he throws it onto the bridge. It's not like it was a far throw, but he just puts it onto the bridge and then he climbs back up. Thank God you work out, because if you were some fat fuck, game over. That you wouldn't have
I
ever
was
gone down
pure
there to begin with.
adrenaline. I wasn't even thinking. I was just like,
It was such a fluke. That was American Ninja Warrior shit. He literally just like grabbed it and whatever. So he gets back up on the bridge, and my hand at this point, my hands are shaking. Like
yeah.
I'm completely just like I'm speechless.
And I'm looking at this fish just like on the ground chilling. It's like flopping or whatever. And then I had to warn him because for all the other bass fishermen out there, you guys know that lipping a bass, it's not going to cut your thumb, but you'll definitely feel those teeth. But for a first time bass catcher, you stick your hand in the mouth, you're going to think like, oh shit, this one's got sharp teeth.
Yeah. I
So I
thought
had
it
to
was gonna
warn
slice
him.
my shit open.
Yeah.
I felt like such a pussy too, because you were like, yo, by the way, like it's not gonna cut your thumb, but you're gonna feel like it's sharp.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay. And even with you telling me that, the second I felt it and he started moving, I'm like, oh, I let go. I'm like, oh,
it feels like it's gonna cut your thumb up.
Yeah, it's nature because you're just like it's your instinct because you don't want to get hurt, so you're just like
Yep, let go.
And then I had to like be like, all right, nah. He said it's not gonna cut me. I just saw you lip it, so I'm like, all right. And I just went like this, and then when I picked it up, I'm like, yo, this fucking. It literally was like, the mic is gonna tip over, but it was probably like, yay big, something like that. I mean, we have pictures and videos that we'll put in right now. But it was crazy. I would not. That was probably the luckiest fucking first catch experience ever. And then somehow,
especially for freshwater, dude, that's wild.
But then somehow, literally this weekend, the second fish I caught was that monster carp.
Yeah.
I don't know how I'm looking out with these things. I think I got to retire from fishing.
Probably a 7 or 8 pound carp that you foul hooked.
It was, oh my God. I feel bad that I foul hooked him, but the first time I had him, because I saw it was on the mouth, but I think he got loose, and then as he got loose and pulled away, I managed to
they always like 90-degree turn quick.
As I think he was turning and I pulled back, it just hooked his tail, not the fin, but like the meat or like a scale, and then we just brought him up and took a couple pictures, and he's fine. He was put back in the water. But
for the most part, unless you're like, you keep them out of the water for a long time or like really like,
fuck up the.
Yeah, like if you start tearing their mouth or like, you gut hook them, like for the most part, they'll be fine. Like,
it's just crazy though, that whole fishing experience. I did not expect fishing to be as fun as it is and as, adrenaline pumping as it is. And I also think Paul is going to get me, even though like, I've said like I'm into fishing, but I just wouldn't do it because there's nowhere for me to fish. I think he's gonna get me a rod.
Paul is?
He asked me today out of the blue. He's like, "So did you like the bait caster or the spinning reel better?" And I'm like, I don't know. And then I'm like, he's like, no, just like if you were to get one, what would you get? I'm like, why are you asking me? I didn't say like why are you asking me this, but I'm like, And he's like, no, just what would you? And I'm like, probably the bait caster because the bait caster I do like the nuance. There's like a bit of skill to it.
Should I tell him?
What?
I just literally today I came back with a brand new baitcaster and
for you
and a rod.
So you now have 4 rods total.
No, so I'm gonna have 3. I'm giving one of them away.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So the rod that we're talking about, or not the rod, the reel is I guess rod and reel because you have to buy
it's
a specific type
to the type.
Yeah. It's like it's vertical threaded. And the reason it's very interesting to me, and I prefer it a little bit over the spin caster, is because I like the way you set it up. You were like, it takes a lot more skill to use it because when you throw it, you have to time the drop of the lure into the water with you stopping the spinning of the reel. Because if not, then it's the rate at which the reel spins is faster than the line going out. So then what ends up happening is a bunch of loops in the backwards reverse direction.
It's hard to explain to people who don't fish, but essentially a bait caster, you have the spool, and when you cast, that spool has a separate suspension, right? So it has its own bearings, its ball bearings. So if you cast and you send out a really heavy lure, that line is going to pull out of the spool. And if that line all of a sudden stops
when it hits the water,
that line is still going to keep feeding out, but it's not going to have anywhere to go because that lure has already stopped moving. So all that line just bunches up inside the actual reel itself. So you get this crazy tangle of line, which takes, sometimes you can get it out really fast in like 5 seconds, you just pull it out, but sometimes it gets so bad that you got to end up cutting the line. I mean, if it gets that bad, sometimes it'll ruin your trip. Like if you go out and you get a really bad bird's nest and you don't got spare line, you're going home early that day.
Damn, so that's why you guys got to pack up so much like backup gear upon backup. Like your backpack.
I just do it just to be prepped. I just like having everything.
Yeah, but your backpack is fucking sick. Yeah. Your backpack, the bottom compartment opens up and it just has like an area specifically designed to hold tackle boxes.
Yep.
And then you got like the pliers on the top and all. Yep. I don't know if it was a kit that you bought that all of it came together, or if you bought separate products that are all the same color, but everything's like.
No, I purposely bought the same color.
So it wasn't one big kit?
No.
So that's pretty cool. It's like a theme. You were going for like a type of theme. I like that. That's dope.
Yeah.
So yeah, fishing has been great. The one time that we did go out on a boat though, that was kind of
could have been better.
I'm
disappointed because I think we went out with a really large party, but I think everybody we were with, at least our friend group, because we were with some of our friends, like coworkers also.
Yeah.
But I think at least within our friend group, I think everybody had gotten a fish on the line. right?
Yeah,
I don't think
so.
I don't think anybody came away with not even having a bite. I think everybody at some point had their rod.
Yeah, everyone
slammed.
had action, but the problem was there were so many people on that fucking boat that the lines were always crossing one another.
Party boats are tough.
Yeah, party boats are tough, but we're
Especially
going at the end of.
Yeah, that I'm
that's gonna be
excited for.
fun.
Yeah, yep.
Shit.
I was gonna text in the group chat actually. Well, yeah, I was gonna text in the group chat to like make like a playlist. Bring a speaker. We'll bring some good food.
That's fire.
Hang on the boat. You know.
That's fire. Is it? Do you know? Can we pick a time of when we leave?
Yeah. Well,
So-
yeah. We tell him what time we want to go.
I'd prefer. I like coming back into the from the sound at night. I think that's really cool.
I'll be down. No, that's actually perfect. I was thinking about saying like 1 o'clock start.
Yeah,
And then by the end of like this month, September, like it'll be dark by then. So like we'll catch the sunset
I like
on the
that
boat.
because I don't want to wake
Are
up
you,
at
are
the
you gonna get
crack
seasick?
at-
Well, you know you don't get seasick.
No, that's
Paul gets seasick.
Paul gets.
I wonder
Really bad motion
if
sickness.
Tom and Mike too. If they, I think Vishal's fine because Vishal was fine in the other boat. He
Yeah,
didn't mention
Vishal's
anything.
chilling. Vishal's big chilling.
Okay,
Tom and Mike, I'm not
yeah.
sure about.
we'll see.
Vishal, and Miguel doesn't get seasick either. Is he even going? I don't think he's going on that.
No, so unfortunately, and this is my fault. I didn't even ask outside, and this boat that we got is a max of 6 people. I actually contacted him to see if he could extend it by 1, and he just didn't respond.
Okay,
Because like
that's fine.
I don't think it's like up to him. I think that like you know how like this is what I think. I might be completely
Speculation.
wrong, but you know how like when you go into like certain rooms, like they say like max occupancy.
Oh,
I think that boat might have an max occupancy X. So like anything above that, like he might be liable if something happens. You know what I mean? Like,
no.
oh, you had too many people on.
That makes
I don't know.
sense.
That's what I think, but like
No, that
because
makes
I
sense.
can't see why that would matter. Like in one extra person.
Yeah,
but
yeah. No,
I'm
that
sure
makes
it's
sense
some
for
kind
sure.
of liability for
In
him.
case like maybe like life rafts, not life rafts, but
Yeah,
what the fuck
something
is
like that, yeah.
The, what's that little
The
donut?
lifesavers, lifesavers is the
it a life-
candy.
But aren't those named after? Am I
Yeah.
fucking tripping right now? Aren't those named after the actual object?
The red and white donuts, bro. The floating donuts.
Yeah. Whatever those things are that people fucking fit in or
Yeah.
whatever. Yeah, those things. But no, it's super fun fishing, man. I if I ever live not in a city area, I'm definitely gonna get into it because it's just a good way
You
to
should
like
get into
calm your
surf
mind.
fishing on the salt water. Get you a nice salt water.
I fucking hate the beach though. That's the problem.
You go on a pier.
Okay, so then that's pretty cool. But in Brooklyn though, like all the piers
You
are
could-
so
you-
crowded.
You could. Well, yeah. Well, that's the whole.
Because even though I love cities,
If you want to drive though, you can go to like Long Island.
that's true.
You're gonna hop on a 30-minute ride, hit one of the beaches on Long Island.
Low key this weekend
Shark
I might
fishing?
hit up Paul to go fishing in Long Island.
I'm telling you, saltwater fishing in Long Island is so much fun. Right now, there's a lot of sharks out there, so you catch like a 5 foot, 6 foot.
Yeah,
sand
but
shark.
I'm not trying to fucking catch. No
I
goddamn
want
shark.
to so bad,
What is wrong with you?
dude. They fight for like 40 minutes.
Okay, but then how are you gonna unhook it?
Pliers.
Have you seen the videos of people online? They just go to like unhook it, and right as they're
Okay.
approaching it, the fucking thing
Couple
thrashes,
things.
and
I'm
their
not
hand
saying
is
I'm
gone.
not saying that that's not gonna happen to me because anything could happen. But like one, those videos, those dudes always they're not focused. 2, they always spend way too much time trying to get the hook out. Like when they're fiddling, like you just gotta get in and rip it out and get out of there fast. Like if you're in there like playing with the shark's mouth, like yeah, he's gonna whip his head and chomp on your fingers.
I don't know, bro. That shit gets me petrified. Like honestly, that the idea, even with like a little bitch ass perch, the one that you caught the other day, I just something about
Okay, perch
like
are low key dangerous though.
what?
Because the gill plate is super sharp. It comes to a point. Their gill plate, for those of you who don't know, fish have like the gills on the inside of their like neck, I guess, and the perch gill plate comes to like a crazy point. So if you get your hand there and that thing starts moving around in your hand, I'm not saying it's gonna like cut your finger off, but it'll slice you.
Okay, that's
Nice.
fun to know. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
But when I caught that little perch 2 days ago or whatever, and we were trying to take I could not, something about a hook, and I think it's from the PTSD that I have. Something about a hook just really like it makes me freeze up as I go to approach it, which is crazy because even though I'm saying that, but I like fishing.
Wait, what
so I don't-
PTSD?
The story. So that's the story I said I was going to tell. So you've heard this, I think, 1,000 times before, but like one time when we were in Colombia, they fish like
I don't think I heard this story.
you had to have. I think I had to have told you this.
I don't think I've heard this.
Well, you're gonna hear it now. So the we went out in Colombia in I think it was freshwater fishing in Lago Calima, whatever. It's like a little lake. It's not little actually. It's fucking huge. But we found like, dude, I might be making this shit up. I might be bullshitting here, but I swear to. I mean, I was very young, like under 10. But I remember The rod that we had was like a stick. It wasn't even like a legitimate rod. We had actual fishing lines. So it was like the plastic clear, whatever. And then like a hook, just like like the typical, not like the triple hooks.
Right, yeah.
Just like the normal fish
hook.
like
a J hook or,
Yeah, like a J hook.
Yep.
See, I don't know all this terminology, but yeah, that hook.
Well, it just looks like a J. That's why they call it J hook.
Yeah. So we had that at the end of the fishing line. Somebody tied it up, and my cousins were like, all right, put a fucking worm on it, and you go out onto the lake, and you just start fishing. And we're so fucking stupid because the line, I know for a fact it was actually a stick now because now I'm remembering. We put a weight on it, so like a lead weight with the hook and the bait. But like with a rod, you can spool, you could reel in the line so that the hook is at the very top of the rod, and then you cast it out.
Yeah.
Let it go, and so there's no risk of anything getting hooked on the fucking cast. We didn't have that, so I just laid out the line and I whipped this thing. And then as I'm whipping it, like even for an 8-year-old, I mean, I've always been like a bigger kid. You too, same shit. We're like bigger dudes. I go to whip this thing, and right at the fucking apex of my my cast, my arm just gets jammed, and I'm like,
oh,
and I'm like, what the fuck? So then I go, and I'm like, okay, nothing. And then a third time I yank with all my force.
Hooked it into somebody.
And then it finally goes. It pops. It goes through. So then it goes, but it didn't fly out into the water. It just went onto the ground. I'm like, what the fuck happened? Then in the distance, I start hearing crying behind me, and I turn around.
Oh my God.
Bro, my cousin, who's like 3 years older than me, I fucking hooked her scalp. And
why didn't she say anything?
I think she was shocked or something. And I heard like also, mind you, like Colombians, like we're partying, like whatever. And when it was in the summer when we were out on that summer house, all the big houses that are rented out in that area, constant barbecues, food, music, drinking, partying. Oh my God. So there's commotion going on. So I just remember like I heard like screaming, but I was like, oh, it's whatever. And I'm a dumb fucking kid. So I kept going. And when I popped it through, I turned around and the hook, I remember seeing blood on the floor. And I remember looking, and then I see hearing crying. I look and I see my cousin going like this. And then my aunt runs from like the fucking house all the way down the lake path, like the little brick road to get to the lake. She goes and she starts helping her, and then I go to and I look and I fucking I hooked her, and then I ripped the hook through with the subsequent
wait
yanks.
So was it like a large gash?
It was like I just hooked her scalp, and then there was a gash.
I'm not gonna lie, as terrible as it sounds, I'm kind of glad that you tore it through. Because if you know how a hook is,
the barb
it has the barb. So either like you just get it like one and done, and she had to deal with that pain for like 5 seconds, and then obviously the subsequent pain after that. But dude, I've seen this guy. I've seen a bunch of guys actually get like a hook stuck in their finger or something. Then what they have to do is like they'll look at it, they'll try to pull it out, it doesn't go because the barb is fully in. Then they'll have to like finish pushing it all the way through, like slowly, or they'll try to go hard, and you're basically going through the pain twice. Then you got to pop the barb through, cut the hook, and then pull it back out the other way, which I think would have been way worse, especially on the head. Because if you had hooked it, then you guys would have had to take that hook, push it through her head, cut the barb, and then pull it back out.
Have you ever hooked yourself?
Like pokes, not like actually like in.
See, that is the reason why like every fucking time I cast, I'm not even still entirely comfortable casting, like fully sending it. I always just like half send it because something about like
you're traumatized.
Bro, I swear to God, I just remember her screaming, and for the rest of the night, I was just like, I mean, I started crying. I was like 8 or something like that, and then my whole night was just ruined.
Damn.
I didn't pick up a fishing rod until we went surf fishing since that incident. But that shit's ass, and I've seen videos the same thing. There was a guy, an Australian dude, who was kayak fishing, and he got like some big fucking fish, and as he's trying to take the hook out, it thrashes. And it happens so quick. Like the guy, he didn't even scream nothing. It starts thrashing. He's like, and then he looks, and the whole fucking hook,
oh my God,
is through his thumb, like right here, through his thumb, but not all the way through. And just like you said, the fucker had to pop it out.
Yep, cut it and then pull.
And he did it all in the video, dude. Australians built different.
No, they're nuts. Especially like an Australian fisherman.
Yeah, he's definitely seen some shit.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I feel like, I mean, what's the population of Australia? Like it's not that big, and it's a huge place. Yeah. So when you're out, fishing in the remote areas, you're by yourself. Like there's not a hospital for a fucking while. So it's pretty crazy. Yeah, speaking of travel destinations. Where are we going to next, guys? Like, what's the deal with that?
There's so many spots.
Like, top of the, if you just had to pick one to go right now.
Like one realistically, or like one like I could. It doesn't matter how much it costs. Doesn't matter how much time. Like travel time.
Doesn't matter.
Like, just one spot I want to visit the most right now.
Yeah, one spot.
Damn, there's like so many spots I want to see. I'm a big fan of like exotic places, like places that like are not like the United States at all. And not because I don't like the United States, but like if I live in the United States, I kind of want to see something different.
Yeah,
like,
you want culture shock.
Yeah,
culture
like I'm
shock,
not trying to like pay thousands of dollars to see the United States on the other side of the globe.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like that's why I'm not gonna lie. Like going to Europe for me is like I know they have like I'm European, but like they have like a lot of culture and like a lot of like history and a lot of like historical buildings and architecture and shit. But like so much of it is like parallel to like the U.S. type. Like styles.
Western civilization.
Yeah, and like I don't want to spend a lot of money and then go to like, you know, America that speaks another language. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not saying that that's what it is, but like I'd rather see like Tanzania and go on like a 2-week safari.
No, I get it. You want a complete shift in like everything.
And then like I want to like, this is something I haven't done yet, and like I wanted to do in Thailand, but just because it was our honeymoon, we didn't do it. But like I really want to chill with like legitimate like villagers, like locals, like eat like out of a big vat, like a big pot.
If that's I want to do that too. Like the shit that I mean, shout out. I mean, this is not a shout out because there's nobody listening to this fucking show. But like, I want to mention, best food review show ever. The guy that Paul put us on.
Yeah, Paul.
Dude, that fucking show. I've been actually hooked on that show. I've watched so many episodes.
Oh, since he mentioned it.
Yeah, like literally 2 nights ago. That guy literally goes to the most remote places, makes friends with like locals, eats like a local, all that shit. And then I realized, like, that's not he hires a tour guide to do that. So that's how he does it. I mean, it makes sense, right?
Yeah.
I'm thinking like,
you got to get in contact with somebody to know all that stuff. Like, how do you know who to contact for certain foods?
Yeah. So do you think it'd be worth it for like the next, big trip? We just get a fucking tour guide.
I have mixed feelings about that. Because I feel like they'll take you to the guy, but then it's also like, if he's taking you to the guy, then he's taking a bunch of other guys to the guy. That's true. So like, it depends.
It's like a catch-22.
Yeah, because I would love to get like a true authentic experience, like trying the food the way like true like local people to that area eat.
So
the
that
way
means
they prep it, the food they eat, the spices they use, the flavor
hard,
profiles.
bro.
I know, but like,
because that means you have to go there and you have to make friends with the people.
Yeah, but like you're also like you got to realize like if you're doing that with like locals, like odds are they have no language, no way to communicate with you, right? Like we speak English, right? I speak English, Albanian, and a tiny bit of Spanish. That's like 0%. And if you're going to like these like crazy remote places, like none of them speak any of those three languages.
Yeah,
you know
for sure. Yeah.
I mean, maybe they'll speak English. But like at that point, it's like if they speak English, then it's like shit. Like this is not even really what I'm like.
You didn't go far enough into.
One other thing is like I feel like low key, like a lot of them, like they see like Westerners come in and they're like, all right, that's the devil. Like get the spears. You know what I mean? Like
yeah, I see what you're saying for sure. Like I don't know. I feel like there's 2 ways that they look at it. In more developed areas, I feel like they're like, well, there's the fucking golden goose. Like, make that motherfucker pay for like, they're gonna jack up their prices. Or the other reaction is like, yo, fuck these people. Like, get them the hell out of here.
We don't want.
So it's like either way, you're kind of getting the short end of the stick, because it's like you're gonna be viewed as the devil, or you're just gonna be fed fake smiles, and then it's like 5x the fucking price that you would pay if you lived there.
Yeah.
But I mean, it all comes with traveling. I don't know. There's like a lot of places I want to hit up. You guys saw the we took a film camera to Iceland, and quick side note about film, I fucking love film cameras. Like Hannah really got me into this. You know how awesome it is? Like, first of all, you take the picture and you don't get it's delayed gratification, because you don't get the immediate satisfaction of like getting to know what the picture that you took looks like. It's just and you're kind of like, it goes, you see the shutter, and then you're just like, all right, like you just forget about it. And you're like, I hope that was a fucking good picture. You don't know until it comes out. We forgot that roll that we finished. We forgot that Iceland was on that roll, or I did. Hannah remembered, and she was like, oh, let's, I think there's like 10 pictures left in this roll. And we went out on a day and we finished the roll, just taking pictures of like random shit. She sent it in to get developed at a place that's like 6 minutes from our house, like a legit film photography place. They do like all the old school type film development, and then they actually give you the original frames back, like from the film roll that you took it with. So it's like really cool. She got the pictures, and that's what she sent to you guys earlier. It was film pictures from Iceland. She sent me the ones, because obviously I think the only one that she actually took of like anyone else besides her and I was the one of you, which I hope you like that, because that was the only one of you guys, or like, you know, anyone else from the group that went. But dude, some of these fucking pictures, like, did you see what I posted on my Instagram story?
Yeah, the waterfall one.
Bro, like, we don't know that that's what it looks like until after, and then you remember, you're like, oh my God, I took this fucking picture.
Yeah.
It's just really cool.
Yeah.
So whenever we go to our next big trip, we got to do that type of shit.
Sandra keeps mentioning that she wants to get like a really nice camera and start taking like legit pics.
Wait, are you talking about like a DSLR, like a digital camera, or a film camera?
I think I want a digital camera.
I mean, digital's better, obviously, because it's, you know, there's no like external things that you have to worry about. I mean, there's no like after process. Like, you just take the picture, take out the SD card, and put it into your computer. And the film cameras too, they get pretty expensive, because like a good Nikon, like the one that Hannah paid for, it's like a vintage, I think like 70s or 80s film camera. She dropped like, I want to say close, anywhere from like $300 to $500 on that camera.
Okay.
But that doesn't count for all the film you have to buy to load the fucking thing.
Yeah. Yep.
And like all the lenses, dude, lenses are so goddamn expensive. And they make the world a difference. But like, my grandfather was into...
the lenses, sometimes they're like more expensive than the actual...
No, 100%.
The camera itself, right?
Yeah. My grandfather got into photography for a little bit. He still is, but like, I don't know what he doesn't really like go out to take pictures much of anything anymore. But the camera that he got was a DSLR. It was a digital camera. I think that one probably cost him like $1,000. The lens. Guess how much the fucking lens that he got for it?
$2,000.
Let me preface this by saying that the lens itself is probably about like 7 pounds. 7 pounds for a fucking lens, and it's like this big.
I'm not gonna lie, that doesn't narrow it down. I'll say $3,000.
It was $10,000.
Stop.
He paid $10,000 for a fucking camera lens.
Holy crap.
We all shit on him when he did that too. Like, not shit on him obviously, but we were like, what are you doing? Like, this isn't your job. We've never seen these pictures from these family functions. Why did you just drop 10 racks on a fucking lens that you're not, like, we don't even, whatever. So that was like a whole family thing, like ordeal when that happened. But
man,
it's crazy. Yeah. So you said Tanzania?
Yeah. Well, that's just like one of the spots.
I want to go to Asia.
I have like a
with
whole
you guys,
list,
bro. I want to go to Asia with you guys.
I'd be down to go to Asia.
Like, so bad. We were planning a trip to Japan, but I don't know, man. Fucking Biden didn't come through with the one goddamn thing.
I'm down to go to Japan.
You guys got to go during the winter though. Summer is god awful, bro.
What do I got here? I got Australia. So many spots in Australia. Japan, Singapore, Portugal. Turkey.
Singapore is expensive as shit, bro.
I know.
It's expensive as fuck. And if you, bro, you know how many laws there are in that country? Like, if they...
Oh, yeah, they're crazy strict, yeah.
Yeah, like...
But, like, that's another thing. Like, I want to see that. Like, I kind of want to see, like, how their society operates.
So, you know, I enjoy the Mary G from time to time. And if you were to get caught there with a fucking gummy, you're going to prison for, like, 10 years. That's
what? Wow,
I'm not joking.
That's crazy.
If you spit... Like, if you're chewing gum and you spit that shit on the sidewalk and someone sees you, you're going to get arrested. I don't know how.
Okay, that's mad harsh, but like also like I do like that they enforce those types.
Well,
of
yeah,
things.
that's why it's clean.
I'm not going to jail for a piece of gum, but like
that's why it's clean. Yeah. I think it's going to jail is a little bit excessive, but I do like how like a lot of Asia, specifically Korea, Japan. I don't really know much about China, even though I'm whatever half Chinese, but
whatever.
Because I haven't been there or I don't know people from there. My dad is from Hong Kong, but Hong Kong does not have a reputation for being a clean city.
Hong Kong is its own thing.
City-state. It's like a city-state, yeah. So it's
is it kind of like a DC kind of thing?
Like what?
Like Washington, D.C., it's like its own district, like District of Columbia?
No,
it's not a state, but it's like its own like...
No, because Hong Kong is technically trying to be like city-state, but state not meaning like U.S. state, like country-state.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like its own country.
Oh, okay.
Even though
it's... Oh, yeah, that's what I heard, yeah.
So it's like, that's why I don't think we're ever planning on going anytime soon, because right now, like, the politics in that area. It's like shit's pretty testy over there. So like I don't know. I'm not trying to go to jail for fucking any random reason, because whatever. And like protests, it's just dangerous over there because like protests and all that stuff. So, but Korea and Japan definitely on my list for sure.
Yeah, Korea too. I'm not gonna lie, that Korean barbecue last night.
Okay, so can we talk about this for a bit?
Yeah.
That was your first time. I can't believe it's been 9 years that you've known Paul. And like you haven't gone to have like Korean
Okay, that's
food.
on Paul. That ain't on me. That's on Paul, bro.
That is on Paul.
But I gotta say, those dishes were freaking awesome. So those dishes. The one thing I gotta say, and I know that all the Koreans are gonna come from my head right now. The one thing I didn't like as much, I liked all the food, and I like this.
I think I know what I'm gonna. I think I know what you're gonna say.
What?
Kimchi?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was too like vinegary.
So that's because it was an older kimchi. That's what Paul and I were talking about.
Okay.
He likes younger.
Yeah.
I like more ferment. Like
Okay.
if you let
I'd probably like
ferment
the
for
younger,
longer,
like less. Yeah.
It's a little more
But
crunchy.
everything else there, like
The meats?
everything, dude. The meats, like the what was that called?
the scallion and the
scallion was mad good, but then also like the meat. What is that called, bro? When they like soak it.
Oh, marinated.
When they marinated that
Yeah.
steak for a while, and then they
Yeah.
brought it out, and then he cooked. Oh my god,
It's crazy. No, Korean food is
So
actually
good.
so.
I
fucking
love
good.
the freaking sauces. Like it's very light sauces.
Mm-hmm.
There's no like heavy, like thick sauce. It's like I love spicy, thin sauces, and that's all there was there.
Yeah.
And then like that spice paste.
Gochujang.
Yeah, that you like. We made those lettuce wraps with.
Oh no, that one's
The one that's like right next to the salt.
Yeah,
and that-
I can't remember what that's called. Gochujang
Anyway,
is a spice paste, but yeah,
Bro,
continue.
we made those lettuce wraps with like the steak in it, and then that paste, and then a little bit of salt, and then I put the scallions, and then I put I think a radish,
And then some of that the bean sprout salad.
the bean sprout salad, and
Yeah.
then oh my god, bro, wrap that.
It's so good.
My god,
It's
that
fire.
stuff goes down.
So you know what? I think one of my favorite things that you've said is like you don't care about, how do I explain this? You said it so eloquently. This was when we were in Florida. You're like, I'll pay for something that is expensive if the value to me is very high. You're
Yeah.
like more about value than
Yeah.
you are about like
price.
yeah, because some people they're like, oh, even
I'll get more mad. I'll get more
mad.
mad spending $10 on a shit meal than I would spending like $50 on an amazing meal.
Exactly. Okay, so that's what I was
Like the
getting at.
$10 would bother me way more.
Yeah.
Like
So-
I'd get butthurt about it.
So last night, do you think that was?
Oh, 100% worth it.
It was worth it.
100%
Okay.
worth it. The amount of meat and the amount of sides that kept coming, that was like, well, I'm not gonna lie, I low-key feel like that was a little like, no, that was probably priced fairly.
You were gonna say underpriced or overpriced?
Maybe a little underpriced.
Really,
Dude, the amount of meat we ate too, though,
bro.
like,
So your
having
mind,
like, having 1/3 of the steak that we had, like in a restaurant alone, that would have probably been $50-$60. Aside from all the sides, aside from all
Yeah,
the
yeah.
like unlimited sides, all those like seasonings, all the paste, all the
Yeah.
egg bowls, like the egg frittata or whatever that thing was called.
the steamed egg, yeah.
Yeah, but like is that what an egg frittata looks like?
No, because egg frittata is like a cake. I think it's like a little bit more. It's like it stands like on a plate, but that thing is
Oh,
watery.
okay,
It can't
okay.
be served on a plate because it's
No.
like a bowl.
I mean, it was like kind of like stiff.
Because it was there for a while, but you should see when
okay.
if it right when it comes out, it's like almost like an egg
Oh, okay, gotcha.
stew. It's a very
Okay.
thick, liquidy
Nah,
type of thing.
I feel like that was like. I mean, it for me that's an expensive meal, right? $80. I don't eat $80 like dinners every single night
Per
but,
person.
Yeah, 80
Not
per person.
for two per person. It was expensive. Yeah.
I would definitely go back, and I would definitely like.
So
get
that's
that
a
again.
crazy thing that you're saying it's worth it. Like you said, it's worth
Why
it.
you guys don't think it is?
No, I think it is every once in a while. But I was gonna say like your mind would be fucking blown to smithereens if you were to have any other Korean. Bro, like you could go for $70. You and I could get a meal that we'd have leftovers. For the two of us, $70.
Okay, but I did eat like more than like I should have too, though.
Oh no, I felt like I was gonna throw up.
Yeah,
yesterday.
yeah.
It was bad.
Yeah.
It was bad. And then my
Mad good.
shits today have been vile
Oh, really?
because it's just a lot of like. It's not like vile in terms of like diarrhea.
I low-key
It's just-
feel like I was an Asian. Like if what is that called? Reincarnation is real. I was definitely an Asian in my previous life.
I could see it. You
'Cause, like-
have a lot of Asian flavor.
Bro,
profiles
it's so
and snacks and
freaking
stuff, yeah.
good. Like, how do you not like that stuff?
Dude,
like all the
wait-
spices in Thailand, we were going off with all the soups and the spices.
Wait till you go. If you ever okay, so I legitimately before I die, I am going to go to fucking Korea with Paul. Ideally with Hannah too. Yeah, with Hannah and then with Paul. Maybe if Hannah wants to fucking go, she's not busy working. But if Hannah goes and Paul obviously is going to that, you two fuckers need to come to that trip. That's gonna be a crazy
I'm down to go to Korea,
trip,
bro.
Especially because Paul, you ain't even gonna have to worry about. Because you were saying, like, I want to eat meals with the locals. That fucker is from Seoul.
I know,
like,
yeah,
he is a
yeah,
local.
yeah.
So he'll just take us around.
Yeah.
And you know, he was literally in Korea, like, I want to
2 years
say,
ago, right?
for like a month or 2 months.
Yeah, for his sister's wedding.
And he's just walking around, wandering the streets, doing his
Yep.
shit. Like he knows all the ins and outs, like the spots and stuff like that. So
I'm so
excited.
down. I'm so down.
It's going to be amazing. I think it's going to be a little bit more expensive, like probably $4,000 per person because the flights are already $1,800.
Wait, okay. I think about like flight $4,000.
No. I think total.
That's not bad.
No, it's not bad at all.
That's not as bad as like dude. Some places you pay $4,000 just for the flight.
Yeah, I mean, if you're going to Switzerland, it's like 8,000 because everything over there is
Oh
super
yeah,
fucking
well, dude.
expensive.
That's why I said when you guys said you guys were going to Switzerland, I'm like,
so you actually wouldn't go to
no, I would, but this is what I'm trying to say. Like I would go, but I would stay with my aunt.
Oh yeah.
Like I wouldn't pay those hotel prices.
They're bad.
I mean, everything over there is expensive. Like
That's
a
so
meal is
annoying.
like $40-$50.
Why is it so expensive over there? If they're aren't they like one of the most richest?
Yeah.
Not richest in terms of like gross.
Yeah, the GDP or whatever. Yeah, no,
it's like per person or like relative to I don't know, per capita. Tom's the guy with all
Switzerland's
those
a
facts.
weird spot too, because like they're not part of the EU, but they're always like in conjunction with the EU.
They're not part of the EU.
No, they're not. They're separate. They're their own thing. They don't want to be affiliated with nobody. So like if push comes to shove and a war breaks out, Switzerland's like fuck all you.
Oh, that's
I ain't
why they're
touching
neutral.
nobody.
That's
Yeah.
a meme.
They got the mountains surrounding the whole area, so they're like screw all you guys. I'm gonna choose whoever I think is right. I'm not aligned with anybody. That's their whole mentality. Yeah, but they obviously still are like very much conjoined with like EU morale and EU like pushes and moves. They actually initiate a lot of the stuff that the EU adopts further on.
So why not just? I guess just to avoid.
They don't want to be tied. It's basically like friends with benefits. Like that's kind of like
Okay.
like Switzerland's kind of
down?
exactly. They don't want to be tied down. They
She's
want
a
to have all the
little
fun
fun.
and be
She
like,
wants
yo,
to-
like
yeah,
we boys,
yeah.
and then you know.
We ball. Fuck it, we ball. But then if anything
we ball,
happens,
and then if like
I'm
yo,
with
you
those
want your own.
dudes.
I
I'm
don't
with
know
those
that,
dudes.
dude. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I got you. Nah, that's that. There's so many. You know, like speaking about traveling, you mentioned Tanzania before.
Yep.
And we were thinking about going there when we were like planning for like all those it was like 2 months ago or whatever, those nights that we were just like we met up like every night, like 3 nights in a row, just fucking going through like Googling, oh, where are these places that we could go, whatever. I'm really jealous of Europeans for the single reason that they are so fucking like center of the world located that like if you want to go to Asia, it's like a 12-hour flight. You want to go to Africa, another 12 hours, maybe 14 hours. From over here, if we want to go to Africa, 36 hours you got to dedicate to traveling. What the fuck is that? That's like a whole day and a half.
Layovers, it's like 2 or 3 connecting flights.
Yeah, that's not fun. Like that's so annoying that like you got to take off all this time and like plan all this shit in advance, and
that's the part that drives me nuts. Is
3
just,
days
like
is
the
gone.
latency and just from like takeoff to like landing at your destination could literally be a day and a half.
Yeah, that's annoying as
plus like when we went to Thailand, we were on the flight for 26 hours, 24 hours.
So you were in the air for 24 hours?
24 hours total travel time. So from the time we left New York to the time we landed in Koh Samui, it was 25 hours, I want to say. But obviously then, dude, you're on a freaking like complete opposite schedule. So you're like getting used to waking up, they're going to bed.
Yeah,
right?
That doesn't sound like fun.
So like the latency also with getting used to their time takes like 2 or 3 days.
You got to plan it, I think, where when you get there,
It's
you get there
nighttime
at
there.
night.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because that's what happened with me when I went to Japan. It just lucked out. 'cause I
Unless
just
you're one of
went
those
to
guys
sleep
who
the first
sleeps
time.
on the plane.
You and me are not sleeping on no fucking plane.
I slept on that shit good. Yeah, we got like decent seats. That's why.
Okay, because I was about to say, I'm like, how the fuck did you sleep
No, we
all
had
knotted up in a little
No,
fucking...
we had, and we flew with a good airline too, so it was good.
What airline?
I want to shout them out because they low key they gave us problems like coming back.
Oh,
So I'm not trying to give them any like, not that anybody would like.
yeah, the
listen
5
to me.
viewers from this don't buy.
No,
from
not
these
even that,
people.
but like, not even that anybody would respect what I have to say about airlines, but like they low key like pissed me off coming back. So.
Got you.
Mad good. I wanted to slap some people, but like the airline was like mad good.
Okay, what is the worst travel experience you've ever had in your life? Did we already talk about this?
Oh, yeah, well, like I think we did, didn't we? Like when I got stuck in Turkey.
Yeah, we did
for a
talk
while,
about
yeah.
this. We did talk about this.
Yeah.
about this. Yeah, that was crazy. 12 hours or some shit in the airport.
Yeah, it was like a half a day around it. Yeah, so
That's
12 hours,
crazy.
yeah.
I should have made a clip about that. Bro, speaking about clips, you know, I'm gonna start paying for a service You ever You ever wonder how like so many aspiring podcasters, influencers, whatever, how they churn out so much fucking content? Not in terms of like recording it or producing it. I'm talking about like post-production, creating like 1 minute bites, like clips.
Oh yeah.
You know there's AI software? I don't know why it didn't click to me sooner. You could literally just give the URL to your YouTube video and they spit out the title, the caption, everything. It's a fucking hack. Kind of takes away like the grinding aspect of it, but like for I don't know how the fuck someone has all that time to do all that with also trying to maintain your work.
Yeah, like that, like getting in the air is the hardest part, but like before takeoff, like you can't make a living off of doing this.
Oh yeah,
to start, like nobody starts out with like, unless you're like the son of like some famous guy or like, unless you know somebody who's famous, you're not gonna
just jumpstart your career.
Yeah.
My intentions with this type of thing is like building a platform or whatever. I mean, like it's just fun recording conversations, getting to chill, talk one-on-one and all that stuff. But I was telling Mike the other day, like, if I ever had, like, if this ever took off and I had like a stupid amount of money coming from this shit, right? I would literally just be like, yo, guys, I need content, right? Like I need stories to talk about. Take off this week if you can. I'll fucking just fly us out to like some place, like some country. We'll go on a trip. It's on me. And then you just have to promise me that on the trip we'll shoot content. Like, or if you're down to like be in a video or whatever, because then that way it's like you're investing in your own business. You get to make crazy like. This is not an original idea.
I think so
Sidemen?
long as you like keep it authentic, I think that's the most important.
Oh yeah, no,
part.
for sure. I don't
like
think I would
don't
ever...
do things just for content, but I think if you do things and then you draw content, I think that I'm not famous.
So that's the thing. Like I want to do stuff because I want to do the stuff, but then a side benefit of doing said stuff is the stories that come out of it.
Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah.
You know, that's why like. If I ever like spend, this is kind of like a weird, maybe it's a little bit cathartic. I don't know if that's the right word, but like if I ever have like a bad experience or some shit, like where I paid a stupid amount of money, like with my dad's birthday, I don't know when the fuck I'm going to get to tell that story. But if I ever spend like a shit ton of money and everything is like, it's ass, I tell myself, all right, it's okay. Cause at least I could try to tell a funny story about it for the podcast. So it's a little bit of like a therapeutic way to like deal with like fuck, man.
Or was that like a silver lining? Or
it's a silver lining to getting like absolutely gypped out of some shit. But you know, whatever. It's a different way of viewing things. All right, it's been 50. What happened? What?
I was like, can we wrap it up?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. We got to get you out of here. And I also have to leave too because we got to drive all the way back to Brooklyn. But yeah, thanks for coming, bro. It's been a pleasure as always. Sir. You know the outro, but you definitely know the outro.
I know it's like a clap, like a booty clapping.
she just
wait, what?
Yeah.
Oh, that.
It's not. Yeah, it's that. All right. So thank you guys so much for liking. It's just snap and point up when I say like 3, 2, 1, whatever.
Okay.
So thank you guys so much for liking. It's been a while. Liking, commenting, subscribing, all that social media bullshit. Until next time, Andy, thank you for coming on, my boy.
Yes, sir.
I'll link out to your Instagram and everything below.
No, don't link it.
Peace out. Okay, never mind. I won't link it. Peace out, guys. Until next time, cue the outro music. There we go. All right, deuces, y'all.
Peace.